We roll in here. We're going to get into the 10 litter. 10s are a litter that we like really well, that have been well received. So the 10s are going to be Major League, Best Kept Secret, King of the Hill, Kiss My Socks. Their grandmother would be a litter mate to the reserve overall barrow at Houston, bred by Heimer. Hildy would have bought that one, and then their mom would have been Hildy's high-selling gilt in these fall sale there 2 years ago. This would be her second litter. Her gilt litter kind of exceeded expectations when you buy a high-dollar baby pig. Would have raised our $20,000 pick of the barn at Kingpins. Would have raised the third overall Division II Dark Cross Barrow at the Ohio State Fair. And then Emily Hemphill had a gilt, and Taylor Ellsworth had a barrow. That both won a bunch of kind of summer, fall shows. So that was her debut litter. This will be her second litter here. The one currently on the stick is going to be 10-1. The bigger outline gilt's going to be 10-2.
Yeah, I think I don't like to use this word a ton, but 10-1's an absolute freak. And I say that with all the positivity intended in the world, because that gilt has some big time pieces that, if your goal is to, and by all means this is my opinion, but if your goal is to go out and to try to hit at a big show or try to win a lot of jackpot shows and have one that has those freaky kind of pieces that can get along just about anywhere, I think 10-1 is one you keep your eye on pretty hard. I mean, the way that gilt's just back shape and top side of her blade and head and skull are laid into her. I mean, her look is freaky and mean, and that one just in terms of hind leg set and reach all the way through, I think very, very good. And I think she's going to need to be managed just a touch, as all the freaky ones are. But when you guys get that one in the right hands and in the right spot, I think she wins a bunch of them for me. That one's super, super exciting. And I would say on the flip side, where 10-1's the freak, the other gilt that Abby's grabbing there on the stick, kind of the more traditional narrow belted type deal, that one's just super complete and solid all the way through. I think if you want a less of a feeding project and more of a gilt that you can kind of coast on and chill on, doesn't need to be pushed but doesn't need to be slowed down, but is still going to have the kind of pieces to be very competitive, and one that maybe just overall reads very complete in terms of her type and kind, I think that's the one for you in the 10-2 gilt. A very, very neat female. And then I know this sow line and got to work with Garrett and their program quite as well enough. So if you're looking for a female that not only can show and compete and win, but also can go home and be a sow, this one reads like one for me for sure.
The 10-1 there on the other end there, she's an outlier, I would say, and for the discriminating feeder that wants to really pay attention every day, and you can manage that one and be on the top of the game pretty much every week. She could start early and go long, and not going to need to be fed really hard, but yet she's not too much. Bones match everything you see up high. She's got an awesome kind of a skull. Really like her squareness of rib and body, and her shape is really good. She's a lot behind, but still manageable. And she's got a great big hind leg, and it's going to be very impressive. Again, just kind of feed that one right. That odd belted gilt on the other end, is one that would be incredibly fun to feed on. That one there is really built good, tall fronted. Again, one that's very green and immature of its front end, but still stout skulled. And like that pedigree reads so much we've seen already so far this spring. Just in the month of January, some of the sold, those hogs are going to be very, very interesting to feed, and they're immature in their look, and their build is correct, and that one there's hind leg is built for speed and is going to go a long time, and she'll be a good one early, but I think even better in the end.
Yep, and again, those are going to be not 9-1, the stouter gilt there on the far end, one that
10-1.
Or excuse me, 10-1, sorry. She's one that, again, kind of gets out and goes early. I mean, if you're looking for one to be a finished project there in kind of that July time frame, I don't necessarily know if she's it. I think that one gets to August, and then, whatever you want to do from there. 10-2 size and fit-wise, very similar to kind of what Jim said. I think that one's competitive early and often, but her better days are the longer they are. It kind of looks like one you can feed harder and get after with harder as well. So, again, 10-1 and 10-2.